talking of embarrassing moments,
Oh, nah, I'm not doing that.
so this is a feature we've got on the green room, and it's called Embarrassing Moments. I've asked Dave to bring with him. I'm going to ask all my guests to bring with them a embarrassing moment from their life, or the most embarrassing moment. Some people might not feel comfortable enough to talk about the most embarrassing moment, but a embarrassing moment from your life, and talk about it.
I can't really not say that I'm not embarrassed about it now after I've just said that I don't like about talking about stuff.
Well,
Okay.
shall I start you off? Shall I tell you one of my embarrassing moments?
Go on, man.
Okay. Okay, I'll do this. I'll try and think of one for each week, but there's literally a top three in most embarrassing moments of my life. Which one shall I start with? It's got to be the fart in the classroom. Have I ever told you about that?
Can't say I've heard the fart in the classroom.
Okay. So, I was about 14 years old, maybe 15 years old. I was at school. We had this horrible lesson called PSE, Personal Social Education. And during this one term, our teacher...
Is that like religious studies would be now, basically?
No, this is more to do with I don't know, the community and growing, and I'm not an expert. I don't know. I didn't pay much attention.
A lot of bullshit, though.
Yeah, but I was in my class, and during this term we had guest speakers come in to talk to us about different things from different backgrounds. You know, we had a fireman, we had a policeman, we had a town councillor. In this case, it was the town councillor. So you can imagine.
YMCA there.
It was so boring. It was so boring. And I apologise if this town councillor has heard of the green room just by pure chance and is listening to this. He's going to know. He's going to know who I was when he hears like the end of the story. So I'm sat there. My mate at the time, Tim Thornley, is sat where you are. So to my left. And I've got to give you like a real detailed view of this for you to understand. So I'm sat sideways on my chair with my back against the wall because my table was against the wall next to the door. The guy that's giving the speech is at the front of the class, giving this speech with his back to the dry whiteboard, whatever, to the whole class. And I can't even tell you what he was talking about. He was talking about his job. And I'm sat there, and I'd kind of gone into this bit of a daze, and just kind of, my mind went off because I wasn't interested in what was going on. And I felt the bubbles coming up in my stomach, and I thought, I got a fart brewing. And I wasn't one of these kids at school. You always got a kid in school that was always farting and everyone found it hilarious.
Yeah.
I wasn't that kid at school. In fact, everyone farts, but I did it in private because I didn't want, I was embarrassed about it. And I feel this fart coming, and it's important to note that we were sat on those hard brown plastic scooped bottomed chairs. So I'm sat on this chair, and my thoughts are wandering, and I'm thinking, I need to fart. I'm thinking, I was getting really uncomfortable fidgeting around trying to hold it in, and there have been times where I just relaxed everything, and it had come to the gates. And then it had just subsided and disappeared, and there was no shifting around necessary. And I thought, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to stop shifting around. I'm just going to relax. And I'm sat there, and it goes, off with my thoughts. And I just relax, and this almighty bah comes out, echoed on this plastic scoop bottom chair. Everybody, including the guy that was talking, he stops talking. Everybody in the class, their heads spin round and they're looking at me. Even my mate Tim just looks at me in horror, and the only thing I could think to say was, Tim? And he goes red and he's like, what, like this. And the guy then carried on with his chat. I was absolutely mortified. And what was worse is there was a girl that I really fancied called Joanne Bradley, who sat on the opposite side of the class. And when break time came, I was so nervous about seeing her or anyone, because I was sure that someone was going to say, wait, that fart you did in class. And no one said a thing. totally got away with it, but everyone must remember it.
Tim later went on to hang himself. Never came back to school again.
Never farted again. He now sees a therapist every week, just trying to release one fart, but he can't bring himself to do it.